The Fisheries Minister has told maritime fishing families that lobster fishing by Indigenous communities under the moderate livelihood will follow existing seasons, regulations, and enforcement rules all set by DFO. Yet the Liberal MP for Sydney Victoria has said this is wrong, that the Fisheries Minister announcement is only an interim measure for this 1 year, and First Nations will eventually be allowed by the Liberal government to set their own seasons and rules. Who's right?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the member for the question. Mr. Speaker, we recognize that First Nations have a right to a moderate livelihood fishery. This was affirmed by the Supreme Court of Canada. The measures that we have put in place for this year are flexible and allow fishers to get out on the water right now as we work towards longer-term agreements. Mr. Speaker, these are ongoing negotiations with First Nations communities, and I look forward to having agreements in place. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for West Nova.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And my question, of course, to the Minister of Fisheries as well. Let me be sure Canadians understand this. The Liberal MP for Sydney Victoria is correct when he said the Minister's pronouncement is only an interim measure. Clarity is extremely important here. Is the Minister telling us flexible, moderate livelihood plans will be established by each First Nation outside existing lobster seasons and will not be enforced by DFO after this interim plan is done?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask my honourable colleagues to please stop spreading, malicious rumors, basically. These are ongoing negotiations we are having with First Nations communities so that we can get to a long-term agreement. First Nations have a right to a Supreme Court affirmed right to a moderate livelihood fishery. We are working with them to make sure that they are able to exercise that right. And in the interim, Mr. Speaker, we have put measures in place that allow the moderate livelihood fishery to take place this year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.